Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, racinginthedirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Reel, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. They're Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you know you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott at racinginthedirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at racinginthedirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming back. It is episode 41 of the Paddle Talk podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a great pod going for you this week, so stay tuned and get ready for some of the best, actually the best, not some of, the best sand drag podcast out there, dedicated to everything sand and dirt drag racing, and even some mud racing thrown in. So stay tuned and we're ready to roll. First thing we have this week is we're going to talk Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series, or SPDRS as it may be called, with Dave Applegate and Larry Stewart. So they are going to bring us a recap of the race down at Greene's. That's Greene's with an E, not with no E on the end of it, for those of you at home trying to figure out where it is, out of North Carolina. I'll slaughter the name of the town. Believe me, I just cannot get that thing out, but Dave's going to handle it. Larry's already laughing because he's looking forward to Dave handling it as well. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and hey, bring us some recap, man. What happened and how did things go, and bring us some results.
All right, guys. Glad to see everybody back on here. And again, World Sand Drag News Podcast is really getting big. It's going to take time. Doesn't happen overnight. And we are getting there. I'm really tickled that we hit 50,000 followers, by the way. That is awesome. And at the same time, my other page, Dirt Sand Drag Racing Events, hit 5,000 the same week. So hey, we're rolling right along there, man. Very happy about that. So it's Dispatunia, Dispatunia. Holy shit, Dispatunia, Virginia. Larry, is that right?
Disputanta.
Okay, so say that again, Larry.
Disputanta.
All right, so let's start somewhere different today. Larry is a new one with us, and Larry, tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and just a short thing about where you're from and what how you got involved with SPDRS, and then we'll move on from there and we'll get into some of the highlights.
All right. I'm currently living in Reidsville, North Carolina. I've been friends with Dave for probably 5 or 6 years now, if I'm not mistaken. We met actually at Piedmont Dragway at the Dirt Drags. And actually, Dave helped me with my drag bike because my rear shock went out, if you recall. We had to figure out a way to get my shock to stay up so we can get my bike entered in the competition. Finally, we used an exhaust clamp. Of all things, we had to use an exhaust clamp to hold this thing so I could run it in the drag strip. And it was my first time on the bike, and needless to say, I finished last place. But me and Dave ever since then have been running together, drag racing. We've been to Alabama, South Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina. We've been traveling a lot. We actually lost touch for about 2 years because I had a bad accident and sold my bike. And as you see, I got my bike back, redid the whole bike, went to try it out 2 weeks ago, and it grenaded. So I told Dave that I was coming to Disputanta to give him a hand with the race. And actually, I kind of like doing that better than I do racing. So I'm looking forward to Little Sandy, and I'm looking forward to see what it brings.
Well, I can tell you what, Larry, there was a lot going on at Greene's Raceway this past weekend, and you was a huge help, and I greatly appreciate it. Let's dive right into it. Highlights. Dan Fowler, the father, told me when we talked months and months ago, what he would do for us as far as the track. Thursday is when we opened the track. He had that track open before he said he would have it open. The track was ready. Everything the man said that he would do, he did. On time, every time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If the man tells you he's going to do it, you bet your ass he's going to do it. I was very impressed with that. I actually made a post about that. So I appreciate that, Mr. Dan. They had never run on Thursday, ever run on Thursday. And we didn't know that. Me and Larry didn't know that. And it went. Thursday night was an absolute blast. We had just a gambler's race, which we'll get into that here in a bit, but there was, I never did get a full count, but there was well over, I'd say 130, 140 people there on a Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm sure, easy.
It was a lot of fun. The track, actually, I'm not going to say what he made because, that's between him. But I can tell you that he was very happy with what the track made that night. It went very well. So, like I said, good turnouts. One thing that I talked about to Dan was I was a little concerned because down south, it's pretty common to have a lot of people at the starting line. And I didn't want that with this series. I wanted it to be more of a professional looking series. So I talked to Dan about it. And I'm like, is there any way we can do something to keep the crowd away from the starting line? Well, he's got one of these little things, looks like you'd have a baseball field that lays down chalk. And he put a white box around there. And he told everybody during the driver's meeting, he goes, Dave said he wanted our box. We got the white box. So everybody there the whole weekend was calling it the box. and it was hilarious. And we had so much fun with the box because Larry can tell you, you'd walk by and everybody's standing by the white line and they would put their foot out and they go, we're not in the box. And then they go, we're in the box. Now we're not in the box. Now we're in the box. They were making fun of it. And it was, oh my God, it was so much fun. We had a blast with it. Larry will get into that a little bit later. There was a couple times that, Larry was my guy. He would tell him to kind of back up a little bit for safety reasons, number one. But these guys had so much fun with the box. It was a great time. Even Dan was getting a kick out of it. You know what I mean? So it was really good. Another good thing is on the rules, we said, we wanted everybody to wear long pants, preferred long sleeve shirts. Now, next year, in my rules with SPDRS, we are going to make sure that everyone wears long pants and long sleeve shirts, and no matter what you're riding. This year, I don't want to put too many rules out there because it'll deter some people, and we don't want to do that. So there's other series out there, as in PSDA, for instance, that, they've been around a lot longer than me, and people adhere to their rules, and I want them to look at my series the same way. But I don't want to jump in too quick. So Larry can tell you, I believe we only had a couple guys that didn't, and once we mentioned it to them, they were putting something on. It was good. Everybody worked with us. It was really good, and it was greatly appreciated to all the racers and the track. Let's get into the nitty gritty here, man. This is what everybody's waiting on. We're going to start with Thursday. We're going to go to Friday. We're going to go to Saturday, and I'm going to start telling everybody winners and runner-ups. Thursday night, gamblers race. Larry, I might need your help on this. I think it was it $20 entry on the gamblers?
I think so. I think that's what it was.
I think it was $20 gambler, winner take all. And I do believe, don't quote me on this, but the winner and runner-up, I think they ended up doing a little bit of split between themselves. But our winner, first place, was Chase Dunnigan. Our runner-up was William Goodman. Now, I'm going to let Larry come in here for a second. Larry, tell everybody about William Goodman and what he was riding, because this is really, really cool.
He was riding an electric dirt bike.
No
of all
way.
things, an electric dirt bike. And I'm telling you, he was consistent every single run. He was the talk of the night. That was the one. Everybody was worried about him because all you do is twist the throttle and go. No gears, no nothing. So he was the one to watch out for all weekend long.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that bike was on a rail every single pass.
And I believe, I'm sorry, go ahead, Isaac.
No, what kind of tires on this thing? Is it got like a knobby? Is it a paddle?
Just a knobby. It was just a knobby.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was funny, Isaac, because a lot of us were going. Now, William is he's a younger man, if I remember right.
Yes, he's very young.
I think he was 14, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I think he was 14. And very quiet, stayed to himself, and
looked like a football player.
We was like, rev it up, rev it up, and he'd just look at you like, really, and but I do believe he ended up. I think his best ET, if I remember correctly, was a 498. I know it got in the fours.
Yes, it was in the fours.
I'm impressed, man. That's awesome.
It was impressive. It was impressive. He did really well. Now, we did have a little bit of an issue with Mr. William that became a little comical later on in the weekend. So every time we had seen him, he was right by the tower. We didn't think nothing of it. He was just hanging out, watching the racing. Nobody thought nothing about it. Well, Saturday, we started having problems with the tree. So Danny, he comes out, he grabs the tree. We got people red lighting for no reason, and all this weird stuff's happening. And oh my God, it was kind of chaos there for a minute. We're to find out William had plugged his electric dirt bike into the tower, and it was blowing breakers. So
you gotta have that recharge, man.
Oh, dude, it was hilarious. So Dan and the owner and some other of his helpers, Chuck was awesome, by the way. Chuck's the guy that runs the starting line. Super great guy. They're running around, they're checking sensors, they're doing this, and everybody's, there's some not arguing, but there were some disagreements going on because this red light and that red light, and I didn't red light, and he did red light, the whole thing, and everybody's going kind of crazy, and it wasn't bad. It was a little bit hectic there for a second, and then they realized here's William sitting against the tower and his bike's plugged in and the breakers are blowing. Nobody knew it. We didn't know. So
If I'm mistaken, Dave, didn't they change the tree and all?
yes,
Yeah.
they changed the tree. They didn't know what was going on. Yeah. So it was it was comical. It was good. But so anyways, Gamblers Race Thursday night, which Thursday was an absolute blast. Chase Dunnigan gets the win. Runner up, William Goodman. Here's where it gets good. Friday, open bracket. A lot of people in open bracket, 25, 26 of them, something like that in open bracket, which wasn't bad. First place, Chase Dunnigan. Again. So Gamblers Race, first place, Chase Gunnigan. Friday night, open bracket, first place, Chase Dunnigan. Back-to-back, second place, William Goodman. 2 nights in a row, these boys went to the finals. These guys were on fire. They were just killing it. So congratulations to both of them. Then we went to full size. We had, I don't have my paper, I think it was 16 full size, counting the side sides.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I could be wrong on that, but I think there were 16 total. We had Brian Monroe there. We had Ziggy. Ziggy was there. He had a blast. But full size, 2 of the locals. First place, Trey Hartless takes the win. Runner up was Mert Harrell. And I'm sorry if I'm saying his last name incorrectly, but Mert Harrell. It was a gold truck and a black truck, or gold Blazer and a black truck, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
And so they ended up fighting through, and they beat some side by sides. They went on. They did good. Then we went into ATV bar. These boys put on a show. The bar and the no bar class Friday night was amazing. First place, Cameron Vaughn in ATV bar. And runner up was David Chance, and I believe he was riding Greg Griffith's bike, if I remember correctly. But David Chance gets runner up. That paid $600 guaranteed from SPDRS on that one, as a matter of fact. Then we went to ATV no bar. First place was Ricky Crew. Runner up was our boy Zay Salter, who we just had on World Sand Drag News here just a couple weeks ago. He runnered up. The real cool thing about this is Retro Quad put out $50 per class for the quickest ET. Mr. Zay Salter got them both. He won $100 for quickest ET in both ATV bar and ATV no bar, thanks to Retro Quad, which was pretty cool.
Now, Dave, is the bar and no bar class, are those heads up or bracket?
Heads up. Heads up.
All right.
Heads up. Now I will say, because there's going to be some guys that is going to be asking these questions. We did get asked if a no bar bike could run in the bar class. All right. We asked some guys, and most of them said yes. So I allowed it. And what I found out, because I'm new to this, is that some of these no bar bikes are almost as long as the guys with the regular chassis with a bar.
Right.
So we learned a lesson there that we will not be able to do that next time. These guys all worked together. They understood. We had a conversation. Everything was cool. Everybody had a great time. But it was a lesson learned. So, but everybody agreed. They jumped in. They had a great time. It all worked out. But yeah, congratulations to Zay with getting quickest ET in both classes. Now, he asked me not to say the exact number, even though me and Larry knows it, because Zay and Carmen and Ricky Crew and a lot of these guys, David Chance, they do a lot of grudging down here. What we will tell you is that Isaiah Salter had the fastest ET, not only in them, but of the whole event out of everyone.
Whew,
and it was in the
cooking.
30s. It was in the high 30s.
That's
rolling. Rolling.
Yes.
So very, very happy for them guys. Then that pretty much ended our Friday night. Larry, is there anything on Friday night that I missed that we can think
We
of? I
had
mean,
the
we
kids
ran
race.
till we had. Oh no, we do need to back up. We did have an accident Friday night, and that was Hunter O'Hara.
I know his first name was Hunter, but I cannot remember the last name.
O'Hara. Billy, you know Hunter's last name. O'Hara. But anyways, we did have an accident. He is okay. He was on one of the Top Fuel A bikes, and he did a wheelie. He got out of it. It came down. It rolled over. He did go out in an ambulance. And Friday night, when we was giving out the awards, as a matter of fact, Larry, Friday night, we were all giving out awards, and we looked, and there's Hunter there with all this shit hanging out of his arms. Like, holy cow. He came back. And he's like, I'm just letting everybody know I'm good, man. So he scared us a little bit. But with that happening, we had less than 3 hours to get the race in before curfew. We had open bracket with single eliminations. Full size was double. ATV bar was double. ATV no bar was double. We got it done in 23 minutes before 11 o'clock. We were hauling. Me and Larry went down there. We had help with the tower. And we got down, we got everybody's ETs, we got, everybody's lineup, we got them all. We had one on the starting line, one, if you will, in the bleach box, and one right behind them, another set behind them. And we knocked them out. We got it done in time. And the owner of the track was like, I'd have never thought you would have got that done. And we got it done. It worked out. So Friday was a lot of fun. Anything else like that you can think of, Larry, before we move to Saturday?
Well, you had the kids race on foot, the 60 foot.
Oh, yes. We had the kids foot race. Yep. Friday night. That was fun. That was a good time. And then we'll move on to Saturday. So Saturday was a busy day. So 350 index. We had it listed as 340. But these guys both came to me and they said, we had a few of them come to me and said, hey, man, we don't really fit to 340 and there's no one else in it. Can we move it to 350? We agreed. It's a racer's race. No problem. So we moved it to 350. Bruce Hare gets the win over Cameron Fowler, one of the, the tracks guys there. Them boys were putting on a show, man, because that was a four-wheeler against a dirt bike, or a bike, if I remember right, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it was a good time. Then we had 380 index. We had one guy show up for 380 index, and that was Urban Cruz. And SPDRS, it's guaranteed money. If you can run the number or right at it, I'm gonna pay you. Man made a run. He was in the 380s, and we paid him. So Urban Cruz gets the win. He was the only one in 380. Then we went to 4.0 index, which was first place was Cameron King. And runner-up was Chase Dunnigan. Again, that's 3 in 2 nights that Chase Dunnigan has been in there. Chase got 2 first place and a runner-up. The boy was on fire. Hats off to the Dunnigan Racing Team there. What do they call? Is it Dunnigan Racing Team? Is that right?
Dunnigan Racing. Yep.
Yep. Then we moved to 440 index. David Chance gets the win over Justin Kidwell. Justin and David are pretty cool guys. Justin's really cool. They had a great time. Then we skipped some classes there and we went to 5.0 index. Now the 5.0 index is something I really want to touch base on because there's a team out there and Billy and Isaac knows who they are, and that's Hell Horse Racing. They got the Harley Davidson. And man, I'll tell you what, out of everybody that was there, my guess is that Carson Holmes, who drives or rides the Harley Davidson He must have made the most passes down that track more than anyone. Like, I mean, you turn around, there he is. You turn around, there he is. And they were having trouble doing wheelies. They were really having some issues with that. And they got it figured out. And 5.0 index, and there was quite a few in 5.0 index, 8, 9 of them, at least 8 or 9 for sure.
I think it was 8.
I think it was 8. So Carson takes the win over Tyler Chance, and open or in 5.0 index. Then we're going to go to we skipped 520. We went to 540 index. Larry Lovett, which is a friend of Larry Stewart's, he takes first place over Jackie Kubler, and I hope I'm saying that right, Jackie. So that's what they did in the 540. Larry was on fire too. He made a lot of passes, as a matter of fact. And then we went to open bracket. This is kind of cool. There was a lot in open bracket, 23 or 24 on Saturday. Open bracket. Now, remember what I just said, 540. Larry Lovett takes first. Jackie Kubler takes second. Open bracket. Jackie Kubler takes first. Larry Lovett takes second. They've switched it up. It was just like our gamblers race on Thursday in our open bracket with Chase Dunnigan and William Goodman. It was a crazy weekend the way it worked out. I'm going to say this now because I will forget. Saturday night during our awards, Jackie was killing the tree. 001, 002s, 003s, 04s, 05s. I don't think she ever went under or over a 010 or a 10. Wow. She was on fire
She was down in
all weekend. So for her efforts, she got $100 for the tree chopper. So, yep, we gave her $100 for that. She was happy about that. Then we go to side-by-side outlaw. We had 4. We knew there wasn't going to be a lot of side-by-sides at this one just because of the location. We had one guy broke, which unfortunately was Greg Laughlin, our main sponsor. His broke. So it left myself, Matt Overby, and Alex from Michigan. Alex, man, I can never say his name right. Kaboki?
Kolpak.
So we ran it. I jumped in. They wanted me to jump in. I ended up getting a win at my own race. I don't like it. It is what it is. But, we was there to put a show on more than anything. I can tell you that the SPDRS money did not go to me. It went to those guys. That's not my money to take. So they split the money, which was $1,400. So that's what we did there. Matt Overby, he runnered up. Now, there's something about this car. This was Dale Jones' car originally, and we lost Dale earlier this year to cancer. His best friend is Mike Overby, and he willed that side-by-side to him. And now his son Matt is driving it. This was his first time ever racing on a drag strip, and he runnered up, and he did really good. Matt, you're gonna yell at me for this. It was very emotional. After the first round, I ended up having to run Matt first round, and Matt had a tear in his eye. He had to walk away. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it was a family moment right there. There was quite a few of us around, and I don't think there was a dry eye in the place because we knew that that Dale was watching over us. He was keeping us safe. He was watching, and we miss him. But I'm gonna move on from there, man. It was a tough weekend. When I knew that they were bringing that car, I was all excited. When I seen the car pull in, it just hit me, man. I just, Dale lives 45 minutes from me, and I'd always stop and see him. And knowing that he was in bad shape, and it pulled at the heartstrings, guys. It truly did. Yeah. And we're gonna move on. So then we go to 4x4 Outlaw. First place, Eric Gomez. He was driving Oh my goodness. Adolfo Rodriguez's four-wheeler. Another one, first time racing at a drag strip, like in the actual event, and they get the win. Not only did they get the win, but they also got the World Sand Drag News 4x4A world record with a 432 at 71.99 mile an hour. So they got both ET and mile an hour. So congratulations to them guys in our 4x4A class. Then we go down to 4x4 naturally aspirated. Second place was Richard Gasno or Quesno. Richard Quesno. Yep. He took runner up in 4x4 Outlaw. Now he in Outlaw runs nitromethane. So we ran them first. Then he went back to his trailer. He pulled all the nitro out. He went back to M1. Everything was checked. He's good. He ran 4x4 NA and he won NA. And runner up was Jeremy Hall. Now those two known each other for a long time, and that was some pretty good wheelie contests because them boys were both carrying the wheels for a long way. The cool thing about 4x4 NA class was that is another brand new World Sand Drag News record, which is our 4x4B, and Richard gets that with a 451 with a 7 at 61.1 miles an hour. He got both of them. Now, Richard had some clutch issues, so his mile an hour was actually down than what he normally is. But he did really well on that. And we go to the kids. Quesno's again. There was 15 kids, Larry?
Yeah.
I think there was 15 kids. And Richard's kids come back with both winner and runner-up. Alan, the oldest kid, gets first place. The younger boy, Blake, gets runner-up. A really cool thing about this is Mike Overby, while we were doing the driver's meeting, handed $100 out and says, I want to put this towards the kids, which was pretty cool. Not only that, Billy Jackson gave out $100, which is friends of George Malott. He gave 100. So the total purse for the kids was $325. Plus the National Sand Drag or National Junior Drags World Wrestling belts. So the kids walked out of there pretty damn cool. And we all talked about it in the driver's meeting. We was all going to shave our beards and mustaches and jump into kids class, but the kids told us no. They said, hell no, you guys ain't doing that. So they wouldn't let us do it. See if we let the kids race again, right? So then we go to something really cool, which was the golf carts. We had a golf cart race. And Roma Fowler gets that first place, and that thing flew. It was 33 mile an hour, I think it went.
That thing was moving.
Yeah, like I raced him Friday night just playing around after everybody was done, and we take off, and he would get ahead of me, and he's on and off of it looking at me. He goes, what's wrong? And I've got mine floored, and he's just like, just toying with me. Well, anyways, he gets first. To his brother's runner-up, Danny Fowler gets second place. Oh, I'm sorry. There it is. They had 8 carts. There was a total of 8 carts. So we had a little bit of everything. Plus, we actually got 3 World Sand Dragger News records because we got Cameron Fowler and B Pro Bike runs a 366 with a 3 at 88.0 miles an hour. So he upped. I think he already had that record. Am I right, Isaac? And then he just upped it, if I remember correctly. So we got 3 World Sand Drag News records that weekend. Plus, I do believe that Cameron actually got Paul Moore's National Sand Drag. Is that right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, he actually broke that one too. So we ended up coming away with 3 world records, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Larry, is there anything else I'm missing, bub? Oh, I know there is.
So.
Side by side outlaw. Fastest ET, thanks to Travis Burney. Ended up going to me during eliminations. I gave that $100 to Jackie Kubler for the best tree chopper. So I took that money, gave to her. Travis knows about that. He thought that was cool. The Lonnie Angel with Angel Performance put up $100 or I'm sorry, $200 for fastest mile an hour. That goes to Mr. Matt Overby, which they left before I could give it to them, but I will see them at Little Sandy, so they will receive that at Little Sandy. I think that covers it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Is that it, Larry?
Yeah, I think so. Other than a great weekend, it was a great weekend there.
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a
Yes,
lot.
it
I
was.
can't wait for
It
the next one.
was.
Sounds like
Me
you guys had a lot of
either.
racing, man. That's awesome.
We ran Thursday night till 10 o'clock. That was curfew. We hit 11 o'clock Friday. Like it was close, like 23 minutes, and we done some other stuff. And then Saturday we actually got done a little bit early. We wrapped it up around 9:30, I think, wasn't it, Larry?
Yeah, it was there. Yeah, about 9:30.
Nice.
And let me tell you, it was a long weekend. We were all kind of like, oh, thank God, because it was rough. It was rough.
Definitely dragging come Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you guys though, real quick, man. 4x4 Outlaw A, what we call Outlaw, which World Sand Drag is A, and the 4x4 NA, World Sand Drag News, we call it B. The amount of people today that I've had message me from Texas, Mississippi, North Carolina, Florida, that have seen this post go out, that this records are out there, is amazing. These guys are high tech Powersports. One of the guys that's one of our sponsors, he got with me. He's like, man, I've already got a new customer that said, I want to jump in that class. This class is going to be huge. And that's coming up here in what, 3-4 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Larry, real quick, Kurt Dalton. Can you talk about him real quick?
Kirk took some of the most awesome videos that I've seen for the Dirt Drag Racing Series. And I'm telling you, he did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. Look him up sometime. Kirk Dalton, alias Mr. 400. Great guy. Does awesome videos. As a matter of fact, he's coming to Little Sandy. He will be there. As a matter of fact, I think, Dave, wasn't it, he's had guys from Pennsylvania and other states ask him to come and do videos for him.
Yeah. Isaac, what's that 500-foot track up there? Pennsylvania. B something?
And Bedford. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Bedford?
Yeah, I think so. It's something like that. But yeah, it's more of a
they
snowmobile
reached
type
out.
deal.
Yeah, they reached out to Kurt. Excuse me. They replied on one of his videos and said, hey, will you come video us? Now, I don't know if it was someone from the track or someone that, works at the track. I don't know. But he's already getting some good publicity from it, and he done an amazing job with the videos. He's my guy from now on. And Larry, you're the one that turned me on to him. He's amazing. He does great work with the way he edits them and stuff is it's fantastic.
And believe it or not, guys, he does this with a cell phone. No fancy cameras, with a cell phone.
Yep.
And they turn out that well.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows my mind how well these videos are turning out.
Yep, he done good. Well, Isaac, you got anything else for us, bud? I think we've covered everything. It went a little bit longer than I thought, for sure, but you guys know me. I normally go longer than what we think. That's just me.
It's all good, man. And hey, you know what? Shout out to all the winners and everybody that placed there last weekend. I mean, it sounds like you guys had a really good crowd, and that's a really, really good race. So before we get too much further, just on my perspective, everybody, I saw some comments, about the 4x4 records and stuff like that. Those records got to start somewhere. And you know what? I would also say, if you got something that's better than whatever the record is, put up or shut up. And we'll just leave it at that. So there it is. That's pretty simple going forward. But let's talk about Little Sandy then. Your next race. Give us the 30-second preview, Dave.
30 seconds. All right. September 26th through the 28th, Little Sandy Raceway, Grayson, Kentucky. We've got guys, as of today, are telling me they are coming from Texas, Mississippi, all over for them 4x4 records. They are coming to take it. So very excited about that. We've got guys from Michigan. Mr. Lonnie Angels says he's coming. We've got, I don't even want to go into all the names. We'll do that the next time, but I can tell you we're looking for a really, really good event there. Devin and Alyssa has done a lot to the track as of late. They put 6 to 8 inches more dirt on the track and leveled it. So it's ready to go. Again, Thursday night we'll race, Friday night we'll race, Saturday we'll race. We're doing all 3 days. We'll have now full size. There's a lot going on, as you know, Isaac. That we've got Brookville going on the weekend before. We've got some other stuff, so it may not be a lot of full size, but they are welcome. But we've got the 4x4s, the 4-wheelers, the side by sides. It's going to be. We got lay down bikes. I wouldn't be surprised if our buddy Paul Moore don't show up for this one. I'm really hoping, but I know that we've got the PSDA coming up not far off after that, so they might be getting ready for that. But I'd love to see Paul down there for this one. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. Again, September 26th through the 28th, Little Sandy Raceway, Grayson, Kentucky.
Yes, sir. And Dave, just to let you know, I talked to Larry today, and he's got probably 3 more racers coming with him.
Awesome. Good.
Sweet.
Good.
All right. So, hey, folks, if you follow that series, or even if you're even interested in that series and you're looking for a place to race that weekend, Little Sandy is a really, really good track. That track's always been fast. This time of the year, weather's looking good. It's getting to that horsepower making weather. Might be a good time to run down there and check it out for a weekend. So, all right. So that's our wrap up and a small preview from the next SPDRS race coming up here shortly.
Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, RacingInTheDirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom-built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Reel, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser Engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD Ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts, where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. They're Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you know you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott at racinginthedirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at racinginthedirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Paddle Talk Podcast. With me, as usual, producer, entertainer, and sometimes host as well, Mr. Billy Teeters, and the man, the myth, the legend, the possible point series champion, Mr. Jon Sorg, chiming in as well. What's up, fellas?
Oh, we're just hanging out, doing our thing. It's Monday now, and getting over the weekend.
That's right. And you were at Silverback Offroad Raceway this weekend, correct there, John?
I was.
All right. Now, that was a non-points race as well.
That is correct.
All right. So what was it? Was it Party in the Jungle or?
It's called Party in the Jungle, yes.
Yeah, I like it. So, all right. So how was your weekend? Let's start with that.
Well, my weekend was okay. It was kind of fun because we seen karaoke on Friday night, and we learned a lot about a lot of people, and you always do on karaoke nights. So that's always interesting.
What's your go-to song of choice for karaoke, at least for the first round?
Oh, you didn't see me trying to sing no karaoke.
Let's go. If you did, what would be your go-to?
Oh, wow. Well, this weekend it'd be Welcome to the Jungle.
Do you bring your own Axl Rose headband, or do you have that one stashed in the trailer for use whenever?
I actually have one in the trailer. So maybe at Pro Truck Nationals we'll have to tear it out.
Oh, here we go. Saturday night at Pro Truck. We're going.
Do you wear anything to make you look taller?
Oh, dang. It's Billy. Let Isaac talk so we don't have to look at you.
We went right there, right off the bat. That's right where we went. I was gonna ask Billy what his song was, but I'm not sure I want to now.
I'm concerned.
Oh, I think it would probably have to be you know what? I think it would have to be something Kid Cudi related, like Pursuit of Happiness. That'd be cool.
And half of the audience just said, "Who?"
Yeah, okay.
That's what I was just thinking.
That song is like 15 years old, so you guys need to culture yourself with some good music.
Oh man. Wow.
Dang, swinging tonight.
I'm thinking especially if you're in Michigan, how could you not go straight to some sort of Bob Seger collection?
Ah, yeah. I like that.
There you go. All right. Okay. So now that we've moved past karaoke, let's discuss. We have some results. We had somebody that doubled up in a couple of classes, correct, John?
We did. We had good old Tom Hartman lay it down. That guy was on fire like usual. But apparently that was his first double down, which kind of surprised me.
Really?
Yeah, he said that was his first double up.
I'm not gonna lie. I would agree with you. I'm kind of surprised that that's the first one. That doesn't seem possible.
You and me both. On all the wins and all the years, apparently he's never doubled up, which is a shocker.
Interesting. All right. So what was that? Pro Comp and Pro Truck?
That was Pro 2 and let's see, Pro 1. Pro 2 and Pro 1.
Oh, okay. So he was not the Pro Truck champ. I stand corrected. All right. So
So
Pro
this
2 and Pro 2.
weekend they actually had different classes than the standard classes. So that's why you're probably off a little bit on that one. Since
I was
there
You
was
gonna
know,
not
say,
points,
what's Pro 1, what's Pro 2? What is this? What is this different
one
stuff you
was
guys
down
are
to the
doing?
100th, one was down to the 10th. It was basically a double enter, but two different ways to do it.
interesting. Okay.
Kind of like Sport 1 and Sport 2 was kind of the same scenario. Then they did a Sportsman Quick 16, which was a 440 heads up and slower. And then they did a Quick 16, which ended up being indexed to the 10th, 380 and faster.
Okay. So do we have some results from the two sportsman classes?
I do, believe it or not, I got some for you. We'll start with
Sweet.
Pee Wee's here, and we'll go
Oh,
first place. Oliver Bennett.
oh,
I know he got us both on our prediction. And second place was Grace Goodell. And juniors, we had first place Chase Cody and second place Vivian Nineheis.
oh,
Sport 1, we had Brendan Willis and taking out Chad Coker. So yeah, Brendan staying on fire in
Wow.
that car. Pro 1, you had Tom Hartman Sr. and John McCall. Sport 2, you had Keaton Hendricks over myself.
Ooh.
And I know, man, he went 023 on the tree. I went 043 and got it handed to me. So what do you do?
The Young Bucks serving notice.
Jon sucks at racing all of a sudden. What's happening here?
Yeah, you suck too. You don't even go down the track, so watch what
Hey,
you say,
I got a
bitch
mini
boy.
bike that runs 9 seconds.
When was the last time you ran it?
When was Shelton's?
Yeah.
That was like in May. You don't count no more. You're like in the retired list.
Okay. All right. Focus.
Oh yeah, so Pro 2. Let's go to Pro 2 here, and let's talk about Tom Hartman Sr. again, taking the win over Dale Flogger in another super tight race. I mean, it was thousands. It was great.
I feel like Dale Flogger needs like one race win, and he's going to get a whole bunch right in a row.
I do too. You know, sometimes you just got to get over that little hump and things will start going.
Yep.
But he's waiting to get over that little hump right now. Sportsman Quick 16, we had Nick Bennett over Larry Brocker.
Oh.
And then Quick 16 was first place Matt Peel over Dean Dangerman. So yeah, those guys are staying up in there. Matt Peel was driving Jay's car and kicking butt like normal. I had to run him in pro, and he ran a 017 light and 331 on a 330 dial. What do you do with that?
Not much.
He was on fire.
All right, so I have to ask. You said John McCall ran against Tom Hartman Sr.?
Yes.
Who went in first?
I think Tom actually went in on that one.
Whoa.
Yes. Yes, sir.
For those of you out there, Tom Hartman Sr., not a fan of usually going in first to stage. Just throwing that one out there. So
yeah, neither is John McCall.
Definitely not John McCall.
Yeah.
That is true. Excellent. Well, it sounds like some really good racing. Sounds like Vivian Nineheis carrying the Nineheis flag. Dan, not sure what happened there, but try to pick up the pace there, buddy. All right. Let's get it together here.
We got to get it together.
Yep. Got to get it together. So, all right. So that was the non-points race over Labor Day weekend for Silverback Offroad Raceway. And sounds like a lot of people are getting ready for the Pro Truck Nationals race coming up this coming weekend.
I'm prepped and ready. I even left my trailer there. Why bring it home for nothing?
Exactly. And I think you and I are headed up about the same time on Friday. So that's understandable. You know, one less thing you got to worry about.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I don't want to go to work this week. I just want to go racing.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, hey, shaping up to be a great weekend. Congratulations to all our winners at the Party in the Jungle up at Silverback Offroad Raceway.
Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experienced and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, racinginthedirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom-built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Reel, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser Engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD Ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts, where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. Their Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you know you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott at racinginthedirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at racinginthedirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paddle Talk podcast. We have special guests on with us today. Tim Soldat and his son Andrew from Texas Mud Drags joining us all the way from the Arlington area of Texas. I'm up in Michigan, so we're like way apart, but still good to have them on. Tim, thanks for coming on. Andrew, even though I can't see you, thanks for being on as well. And Tim, tell us about Texas Mud Drags. How long have you guys been around, and what's your format kind of?
Okay, so we started this about, I'm going to say 4 years ago. We put a little web page out there just like everybody does, and it started growing, and we decided, hey, let's go ahead and put some races on. And that's when this really started to explode, and we got a lot of stuff done. We started the Lone Star Shootout for, one over there at Brazoria, and had a really good turnout. And it all originated over there at my buddy Randy Hoop in Mississippi. We drove on over there to take a look at how it worked over there at DT's, and they said they had some big block trucks, and it did really well over there, and we had a good time. And we said, we need to do this a little more often. So Lone Star Shootout came out, and that's when we had our first race.
That's awesome. Now, were you a racer before, or purely on the promoter kind of administrative side?
I've been racing more than 25 years, and my son's been in here racing with me. We've just been having a blast. It's a big difference when you get to watch the kiddo get in there and start doing the things that you always wished you could.
Absolutely, it is, isn't it? Nothing better as a dad and a pseudo crew chief, so to speak, than watching your kind of next generation step in and do well and everything else. So, tell folks, what is your current ride then that you guys have?
We have a couple of trucks. We have the Purple Nightmare, which is our 4-wheel mod truck. I don't know if y'all saw it over there at DT's. It did pretty well over there. And we've been racing that truck probably 15, 20 years now.
Oh, man.
Down here in Texas. And we also have the Bully truck, which is the white step side that we've been racing it probably for about 12 years or so. We just decided that we needed to spread the horizons and get out there and race other people and just see where you're at.
So I have a suggestion. I always mistake that Bully truck for Jason Hoskins at first. I'm going to throw out there, because I know Jason watches the podcast. You two need to go heads up, and the loser best 2 out of 3 has got to put some other paint at least someplace on that thing so that it's easy for us all to determine who's actually who.
Right.
We'll see.
We've actually done that. We've actually called him out twice in 2 of our Lone Star Shootout races and raced him heads up, and he's beat us both times, and we're still at his heels trying to dance with him.
Well, you're not the only one. I mean, Jason Hoskins has a lot of people. See, not me personally, but he races up this way once in a while as well. We kind of go down into Indiana, and we've managed to avoid him, but yeah, he definitely is a force to be reckoned with. So,
well, in this kind of racing, you don't ever get to get away from him. We're on the heads up, so you're going to find him sooner or later in this race.
That's right. All right. So, what are your classes? Texas Mud Drags. What kind of classes do we have? Where, do you have a, get in where you fit in type of thing? Or what, if a guy's going to come and he wants to bring his truck, what are some things you would say, hey, these are the classes you can run, and these are the setups you can run in those classes, so somebody would know ahead of time, what they could do?
Well, we've got 3 main classes that we run all over the country. And what our plan is that we tried to make things as simple as easy so that we could go to anybody's track, not change any of the rules, just blend in and say, okay, well, you guys want to get into one of our classes, this is what it is. So we have the big block class, which is a full-size truck, full-size frame, put it all together, put everything in the right place, motor, axles, everything. That way you're running up against, what you're running against, and we can fit that truck anywhere in anybody's track, anywhere around the country. The second one is a little bit different. It's a naturally aspirated class, so you can run any motor you want. It's called 4-wheel mod, any kind of chassis, but you got to weigh 3,000 pounds on cut tires. There's no paddles in that particular class. Now, the door slammer class, that's a whole different story. That thing's pretty much wide open. You can almost run what you brung, but we put a 2,700 pound weight limit on it to try to keep it even, because everybody's built different. And that class is, kind of crazy. There's a lot of fast trucks that seem to get in there every once in a while. We have 2 other classes that we're going to add in over here at the Missouri race. And there's going to be, it's pretty much the same kind of thing. It's a small block naturally aspirated class at 2,800 pounds. And it's going to have a small block power adder class at 2,550, which is pretty much the same thing. Couple of doors on it, let it roll, see what happens. Both classes.
Awesome, man. I love it. So you mentioned the Missouri race. That's coming up. Give some folks some details on it, what they can expect, where exactly they would find this race at, and that sort of thing.
Okay, so it's going to be at the Double R Race Park over there in Millersville, Missouri. They've got a bunch of sponsors that came up with some money, and they're adding their money in there. So they got C&B Diesel, Seymour Contractors, Millersville, The Pit Stop, Smoking Bones Barbecue, Perk Reynolds, C&B Motorsports, Schaefer Electric, Capital Sand, and McDowell South RV. You want to talk to Keith Robinette over there and Cody Slosser. Those are the guys that are in charge of the track. Now, these guys, have really done a good job, and it's a new track. So they built this new track and everything's, we're opening it up and helping them out with this. In the big block class, we got $2,500 added money with 100% payback, and there's 19 confirmed trucks in that class already.
Yeah.
Going to be a good class. Now, the four-wheel mod class has $1,750 added money, 100% payback. And then our door slammer class has got 1,000 added money, plus 100% payback. And, you know, trucks are confirming every day to that too. So, and we're finding that the more trucks confirm, the easier it is to get sponsors. So we can get more trucks confirmed. You know, the sponsors will come and give us some more money for the added money part, and we give it all back.
I love that, man. You're not. So just so I want to make this clear, only because we've had some other people disagree with this idea, but I just want to make sure this is clear. You are not depending on entry fees for your payout. You're paying out and you're saying, you know what? I got faith that enough of these guys are going to show up that at the end of the day, we're going to be able to cover expenses out of the entry fees, but we're going to pay this money, whether it's 5 guys that show up or 20 guys that show up.
That is correct. The added money is already there in the bank, ready to go to the track before they ever even run the race. The entry fees from all the drivers are 100% payback. So every dollar they put in, they get back in their class. So man, everything else, the spectators work out, and you know, and it's worked out at all the tracks.
I love it, and I tell you what, that is, I appreciate that you guys are sticking your neck out a little bit on that deal. But I tell you what, that seems to be in this day and age the way that people respond well to it, and they want to go to a race like that. I mean, I would, you know.
Well, come on down.
Do you have a class for what's behind me?
We can make one. We can make one for anything. How much does it weigh?
Probably less than I do.
Wow. Oh, there you
go.
Yeah,
it leaves it a little open, doesn't it? All right. Well,
if we can get enough people to get in the class, we make it. That's what we do.
That sounds good, man. That sounds really good. So I will seriously, I am, the more I learn about this, the more I want to get to one of your races and check it out. And if nothing else, check it out and be on site and see what's going on with it. So now you talk about Missouri. You guys have this 4-state gauntlet kind of series going. Tell me some more about that, because that is kind of a different idea too.
Okay, so last year we ran a Triple Crown. We ran Kentucky, Mississippi, and Texas. Being that we were in Kentucky, we was like, well, it's a Triple Crown. That was a pretty easy bet. You know, we ran 3 races, see how it went, you know, on a national series. Well, this year we have more tracks, just like we have more tracks that want to do it for next year. And we said, you know what, we're going to do a gauntlet, because, you know, when you're in a double elimination race, you can lose once and still win the race. Yep. So you have to go through all the trucks, and that becomes like a gauntlet. That's where that came from. It's like, you know what, it's hard to come back up through the field, but you can.
Yep, absolutely, man. I saw it happen this past Saturday night, a race I was at. Guy lost in the first round final, worked his way all the way back around, beat the guy twice, ended up winning the class. But that is a bunch of passes to do it. And you're right, gauntlet is the perfect word for it. That's very well done. So
yes, sir. Thank you.
So that's kind of how that came about then. So you alluded to maybe more tracks then on the docket for next year?
Man, we've been getting contacted from many tracks all over the country. And our best buddy over there is one of them, Mr. Billy Teeters. So we're looking at that too. We're trying to get a whole bunch of information out there, and our biggest limitation right now is just the travel and getting the time off to move, because again, you know, I'm 900 miles from Millersville. I'm a way lot further than I am to you in Michigan. So, but I hear that you guys have a heck of a track over there in Silverback too. So, you know.
Now, that being said, so I was kind of segueing into that. Is this 200 foot or 300 foot?
We do 200 feet, and we try to keep it standardized within all the tracks so that we don't have to ask all the guys to be changing their stuff up from track to track.
Sure. No, I hear you. So, and that's, you know, to be fair, a lot of the, what I'll say, dirt drag stuff around here is all 200 foot as well. So sand is, you know, usually 300, but you know, I got a feeling, Brett Penoyer, here you go, buddy. This is my shout out to you. there's got to be a way to transform Silverback into 200 foot, if nothing else, for one weekend. So just throw that one out there. Let's see what we can do. My buddy Chum, Kyle, we're gonna talk about it this weekend. I'm gonna see you Friday night, and we're gonna have a little chat about this. So let's see what we can come up with. I'm thinking Tim and his guys need to maybe see us next summer. So.
Right. And then, that's kind of what our small block thing is about, is those, those sand draggers are, there's a lot of guys out there that's willing to do that. It's got a couple of doors on there, get them out there and let them come play. They can be part of the show. It'd be fun for all of us. We get to see a bunch of different people and we get to melt in with everything. It works out really good. And the spectators love it, man. All the tracks are always packed full of spectators, and the tracks do really well.
Yeah. You'll get to see my guy, Jason Vanderwall, on Saturday.
I met him over there in Mississippi, man. Those guys got some really bad rides right there. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Absolutely, man. No, I know he's looking forward to it with his crew. And yeah, that should be an excellent time. So, all right. So we talked a little bit about that. Ultimately, what is your goal, Tim? I mean, with TMD, do you have hey man, if I got to this point, I consider that was like the best we could ever do? Or are you like, you know what, man, let's see where this goes and kind of play it by ear a little bit?
We never thought we would get this far. And then it turned out that every track that we go to, we're getting 80, 90, 100 entries. We're getting anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000, 4,000 people in the stands. And it's incredible. So really, I don't know that there is a limit to it if you can have the facility that can do it. And that's kind of what we're looking for, facilities that can get a lot of spectators. And if you get the right kind of, advertisement out there and run a good program, just kind of like you guys do. And over there with Billy's track, we'd be able to do that. We would, it'd be a lot of fun. And I think that the tracks can make a lot of money doing that. And it would, I was told a few years ago that mud racing was dead, and it's really made a comeback.
I feel, I've heard that myself, and I feel like it's dead in the sense of, at least up by us here, it's just changed more, is what I should say. You look at like the fairs around here by us and stuff like that, and you don't have the old school bog pits, and stuff like that, but they're starting to move more towards the, what I'll call dirt drag style, type of thing, which is a great grandstand event for a fair and that sort of thing, if they play it right. And I think I don't know that dead is the right word. I think more it evolved, right? Kind of more into just a different, different animal than what it used to be.
I would agree with all of that, and I really, in my heart of hearts, feel like once you get the spectators involved, you can do anything that you want.
Fantastic, man. I love it. That's great. All right. Well, hey, that's pretty much all we've got. Anything you got yet, Tim? Some sponsors you want to thank, or family? What do you got here, bud? It's wide open.
I've got a lot of fun stuff here. So our big black class has really been exploding, and we get people to call each other out, and they go mano right there first, round off the trailer. They're calling each other out. But we got a couple of special people we need to talk to. We got Cody from here, let me make sure I get this right. Drop Drag Send by Data Links. Now, this guy came in and he said, man, I see what's going on in that big block class, and I want to go ahead and help you guys out. And he added $1,000 to that class.
Now, this is just for the Missouri race?
That's just for the Missouri race. Maybe awesome. We get lucky, he comes on for another race. We got one more coming up. So, we got him coming in there. We got Eckhart Racing. We got guys coming out of Wyoming to come run with us. They ran over there in DTs. They put $500 in the full wheel mod class. And then we just found out right now from C&T Auto Repair out of Shawnee, Illinois, put in another $250. That's how it got to $1,750 extra money. So, it's just beautiful to watch it. Now, also, there's a Platte River Welding LLC out of Wyoming that put $500 in the big block class. So, there's people from all over. They're coming to race. They're bringing some cash. They're throwing it into classes. They're watching it grow, and they're like, man, this is fun. They get to go heads up against somebody that they've never met before, and it seems to be working out real well. So yeah, we're having a great time, man. Now, if you guys need some information from Keith Robinette, his phone number is 573-579-7774, and he's from Double R Race Park. That way everybody knows that's the guy to contact, get your information. You need motels, you need anything. That guy's bend over backward to help you.
Awesome, man. I love it. This is great. I love seeing this, and it sounds like it's gonna be a great race. So fantastic. We wish you guys all the best, and thanks for coming out on the podcast today.
Hey, man, we appreciate it, guys.
All right, sounds good. Tim Soldat, his son Andrew, Texas Mud Drags, heading up for their race number 4 of your gauntlet.
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay, it's coming up here in Missouri. And what are the dates, Tim?
It's going to be September 7th. We're going to start at 7 o'clock.
This Saturday, if you're watching this during the week, this Saturday, September 7th in Missouri. So Texas Mud Drags, check them out.
Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, RacingInTheDirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom-built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Reel, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser Engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD Ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts, where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. Their Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you know you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott at RacingInTheDirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at RacingInTheDirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, RacingInTheDirt.com. That is RacingInTheDirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paddle Talk Podcast. we are on our Pro Truck Nationals preview, which is sponsored by High Gear Transmission in Conklin, Michigan. See Joe and the crew at High Gear Transmission for all your transmission needs. All right, so let's get on to the preview. With me tonight is Jon Sorg, our resident Silverback Offroad Speedway expert, and we are going to talk all things Pro Truck Nationals as Pro Truck is coming up this week Friday, right, Johnny?
I'm stoked, man. It's going to be great.
It is. It is going to be awesome. We've got Pro Truck Elite coming up Friday night, and breaking news. I don't know how well this has been out there, but breaking news. Friday night is a free Friday. That's right, folks. Free Friday. Bring your lawn chair, bring your cooler, bring your kids. It is free gate this Friday at Silverback Offroad Speedway. What do you think, Johnny?
I think that's great news. I mean, who wouldn't want to go see something for free?
Absolutely. And we get great racing. I mean, we've got 350 Friday night. We have Pro Truck Elite, fastest 8 trucks on the property going heads up against each other. And then we have, I believe, an open bracket Friday night.
Yeah, we'll have an open bracket also. So, yeah, a little bit for everybody.
Absolutely. And you're running the open bracket, so you're ready to go?
Definitely. I left my car there. I'm so ready.
You were ready last week's on Friday already.
I was ready last week, Friday. You know this, man.
That's awesome, man. And I tell you what, that open bracket class usually pays pretty well. I mean, for a Friday night class.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen them walk out of there with $1,000. So.
Yep. And speaking of $1,000, Pro Truck Elite is $1,000 of the winner guaranteed, and there's no entry fee. But you do have to make a pass, at least one pass, during the test and tune. So, I mean, that's $40 to run test and tune. You think about it, $40 for the chance to win 1,000. Not many places you can say that.
No, not at all. And thanks to Rich for putting all that together, because that's pretty awesome to do in this sport.
Absolutely. I tell you what, the whole team for Pro Truck really knocks it out of the park. Scott Chiat, obviously Rich Simon, down to even everybody that helps out, with the ladders and everything else. We really appreciate it. And I tell you what, Silverback just makes it so easy to get there, to get the help that Pro Truck needs to make a successful event and really pull it off without any hiccups. So
they do. They make it easy to pull off an event, man. When we did mine, it was, basically flawless. I can't complain one bit.
Absolutely. So, John, we've heard that maybe some of our down south friends are coming up for this race. Possibly Mr. Curtis Combs bringing the blower Jeep back up to continue his possible dominance of the Pro Truck Elite class.
That's the chatter I'm hearing.
That's good. That is a good thing, man. I can't wait. I mean, I think it's looking good. We've heard some other rumors of some guys looking to put up a number, and
I've heard from possible Wilson Trice show up. Let's see. Who else? What do you know?
I know that some of the heads up guys are really looking to throw a number on the board, and possibly some of these guys are even going to use it as a little bit of a test for the Hayfield Shootout, which is the following weekend. So Pro Truck Elite Friday night ought to be pretty stacked class. So I'm really looking forward to it. So
I mean, you're going to see trucks running the 3 teens, 3 O's, and them guys are flying. That's impressive to have that kind of weight going down the track, going that fast.
Absolutely. It'd be good to, I think Earl Lettner's pretty much confirmed going to be there. So excited to see that truck finally maybe reach its potential, so to speak, too. That should be really interesting. And maybe we get a peek at Gary Golombisky this time as well.
Yeah, I seen Earl run that 314 this weekend. He was looking stout.
Hey, what, man? That's who would have thought, right? I mean, there's a possibility of 3, maybe 4 trucks that can all run in the 3 teens. I mean, that's crazy.
It is. And that's going to be great competition to watch for free.
For free. That's the big thing. If you're, like I said, if you're watching this and you're interested coming up, there's a ton to do in Silver Lake this weekend, and it starts off with a free Friday night. I mean, you got a bunch of kids ramming around the campground or something like that. You want to have them burn off some energy. here you go, man. I mean, what kid doesn't like loud stuff going, down the track? I mean,
If not, it's a big sandbox to play in.
right? So, all right. So that's Friday night. Saturday, we have all the regular Silverback Offroad Speedway classes, which is this their point series finale, John?
This is the point series finale, and I was just informed that it's 1.5 points. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's interesting. So
that'll
points,
shake things up a little bit.
It very much could be. Wow, that is something else. And then we have the Pro Truck Nationals Championship as well going on.
Yes.
Which we're going to crown a champion on Saturday night, one way or the other. Now, Brian McQuethy is our current points leader, but mathematically, even if you missed the first race, you still haven't. Now, it's an outside shot, and everything would have to fall in line. But you could, in theory, win the championship yet if you had a perfect Saturday night.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy. And what it really means is anybody, even if you went out in the first round at the last race, you've still got a really good shot at winning the championship. So I'm really looking forward to it. I was confirming with Rich Simon actually right before we came on the podcast that if it does end up in some sort of a tie, it's going to be a runoff at the end of the night. So if there's four guys that end up tied for it, it's a flip of the coin for matchups, and whoever comes out victorious out of those four, that's going to be your champ. So
excellent.
It ought to be. I'm really looking forward to it. And John, you've seen the air tanks that Rich had custom airbrush for the winners.
Those are sweet.
Shout out Adam Cates Design. That's Cates with a C. If you're looking them up on Facebook or someplace like that, Cates Designs out of Washington, Michigan. Unbelievable artwork on there. And I tell you what, I mean, I'm kind of bummed, as I always am, to be honest with you, that I have no shot at taking one of those home. But if you're a truck
who are getting those for awards, those tanks?
So one of those is going to go to the Pro Truck Elite Champ, and one is going to the Pro Truck Nationals Champ. So
nice.
Yes. Yep. So in theory, depending on how you run, you get 2 shots at one of those.
Right.
And that's pretty cool.
You see Earl Lettner in there. I bet you he does both.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to it. It's always good. Lots of money up for grabs. Pro Truck, pays a pretty, I believe, was it 1,500, 500 and
1,500, 250, 250.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. 1,500, 250, 250. I mean, man, you make it to the semis and you're getting paid at that point. So
right. For a $40 test and tune. It's doable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So no, really looking forward to it. And yeah. So and then Saturday, Pro Truck Nationals Championship. I mean, what else can you say about that? That's gonna be fantastic. Plus, you got all the other Silverback Off-Road Raceway or Speedway classes. I mean, and a 1.5 points. It's gonna be down to the wire for some of your points chases there, John.
Oh, no doubt. And I'm just looking up the weather, and it's gonna be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's gonna be some moisture in the tracks. So I would be betting that somebody breaks that record this weekend on Friday night.
You never know what might happen.
I'm not saying who. I'm just saying I think there's a good shot that may fall.
I'm just saying it's possible. Let's leave it at that. So
yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I tell you what, it's going to be a fantastic weekend. If you're looking for something to do, Apple Fest is going on around the greater Silver Lake area this weekend. It is going to be fantastic. It looks like the weather is going to be perfect. Not too hot, but yet maybe a little overcast, maybe, a little on the cool side. But I tell you what, it's fall in Michigan, and you can't ask for any better than that. So should be an awesome, awesome weekend. Great racing Friday and Saturday night. Johnny, what's one thing you're looking forward to for the weekend?
I'm looking forward just to seeing everybody, but I'm really looking forward to see how this Quick 8 Elite pans out. I want to see if my pick, Curtis, comes up and takes advantage of the position he's in.
And the thing with Elite, too, it's full chip draw for the first round. So you
Right.
could, in theory, you could have the two fastest guys on the property meeting up in the first round. So literally,
which I think is awesome.
oh, absolutely.
love it.
It literally makes it so any of those 8 guys has a shot at getting to the money round. So
It does, and that really turns it up, so you don't have to worry about if you're 8, because you might not have such a bad draw after all.
I was gonna say, really, as long as you get in that 8-car field, it really doesn't matter where you're in at. It really matters on the chip draw. So we're gonna try to maybe get out if we can, get the microphone ready and tuned up. And the idea is that we'll do it right out in front of the grandstands or right out in front of the concession stand there Friday night. So
Sounds good to me.
I like it, man. I think it's going to be awesome. So, all right. So that is our preview for the 2024 Pro Truck National Series Championship. And this coverage brought to you by High Gear Transmission, Conklin, Michigan. Look them up on Facebook, or you can find them at highgeartransmission.com.
Hey, folks, this episode of Paddle Talk is brought to you by RacingInTheDirt.com. Racing in the Dirt has parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and that's to help all of their customers compete at their very best. With over 30 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, and experience and helpful staff as well. If you go to their website, racinginthedirt.com, you can shop for parts and custom-built chassis as well. They sell quality brands such as Interco, Molinari, Reel, SCS gearboxes, Yukon gear and axle, RJS racing equipment, Moser Engineering, Simpson, Stroud, Willwood, MSD Ignition, AFCO, FTI, Good Vibrations Motorsports, and King Off-Road Racing Shocks. You can look at their axles and parts, where Racing in the Dirt offers all of the Go Fast parts for any axle setup. Have you checked out their new Dana 30 Fab housing? Racing in the Dirt Pro D30 housing starting at $590. Their Racing in the Dirt tires, the DOT boggers, standard cut boggers, Magnum cut boggers, platinum cut boggers, DOT TSL swampers, the cut swampers, and they even cut your tires on site. Once again, over 30 years of experience doing this stuff, so you're getting good quality stuff from Racing in the Dirt. Also, Real Wheel Dealers. They have a bunch of awesome real wheels from Real Racing Wheels. And they're Racing in the Dirt built chassis, whether you're looking for a full build, turnkey, ready to race, or simply a cage in your existing ride, or maybe a chassis that will be in the foundation of your newest race vehicle. Racing in the Dirt offers it all. You can also contact them about a consultation today. You can search for their products on their website. They have wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, Racing in the Dirt knuckles, axles and parts, Racing in the Dirt chain drives and parts, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts. So you can get in touch with them at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. And you can even email them at Scott, that's SCOTT, Scott at racinginthedirt.com. Once again, you can get a hold of them by calling them at 920-693-2000. 920-693-2000. You can also email them at Scott, SCOTT, at racinginthedirt.com. And then they are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And don't forget the UPS Daily.